Hey guys, join us today as we talk about extreme gardening products. You ain't gonna want to miss this video. All right, everybody, so we got our extreme gardening products in today. We're going to open up all these boxes here and go over them. We also have on the 16th, I believe, of this month, we have Randall from Extreme Gardening going to be with us, and Travis Ginger, the world record holder, will be with us this month on the 16th, and we're going to talk about extreme gardening products, biologics, and why they're beneficial to you and your grow. And it doesn't matter whether you're growing giant fruits and vegetables or you're growing a garden. This stuff is great for everybody. All growers, whether you're growing flowers, you're growing fruits, you're growing vegetables, your trees outside, you know, apples, oranges, plums, apricots, you name it, your blackberry bushes, your raspberry bushes, whatever it is that you're growing, that you like to grow on your property, this stuff is tremendous and will help you out, okay? Biologics are one of the best things that you can do for your soil and for your plants, and your plants will thank you for it. Biologics are in the form of Mykos, which is mycorrhiza, Azos, which is a beneficial bacteria, and then we also have the Versity, which is lactobacilluses. Now, we're going to go over some of this stuff, well, you know, and talk about it a little bit today. We're not going to talk about it in depth, but we will talk about it a little bit. But you guys got to kind of think of this stuff as your protein shake or your amino acids, or, you know, something that you would take if you're, you know, going to the gym and you're working out and stuff, right? This stuff helps the soil as well in so many different ways. Not necessarily the soil itself, but it does help within the soil being able to break those nutrients down and letting the plant uptake them, right? And so it also helps with disease resistance and stuff like that. We're going to go over a whole thing of what's in these boxes. So let's start that off real quick. Find my knife here, because some of these I don't know what's in them. All right, so this one right here. Is my new hat. All right. Yes, sir. My new hat from Extreme Gardening. I needed that. Thank you guys so much. I needed a new hat because my hat was roached. So let's go ahead and throw on our new hat here from Extreme Gardening. We'll toss the box over here like so. Grab my new hat. Oh yeah. Boom. Now we need to tighten her up just a bit. My head ain't quite that big. Yeah, I know. I heard some of y'all say, "You're right." I heard you. I heard you through the camera. Don't think I didn't hear you. All right, so next thing we got here is Versity. It's a lactobacillus, a bacillus blend. This stuff, it done a whole lot of good for me last year. You guys just wouldn't believe if I told you. I was also using it in my compost teas when I'd make my compost tea, and it worked out really good. And now we are going to be doing a video of how we put together our soil starters, our seed starting mix, all right? And I really believe that our seed starting mix is probably one of the best ones out there. Now, of course, everybody thinks that, you know what I mean? And we're all welcome to our opinions. But I really do think that we've got some of the best seed starting mixes out there as far as, you know, what we do here. And so going over the back of this, we have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different lactobacilluses in this. All right, and there's 2.5% kelp and 2.5% humic acid derived from the leonardite. All right, so some really good stuff here. I'm not going to try to pronounce these lactobacilluses, but what I will do is get a picture of them and post them right here so you guys can see the back of this and see what all's in it. And like I say, we'll just put it right over here so while we're talking about it. But, it's for reservoirs and root drenching. Use 1 teaspoon per 5 gallons of water. Mix thoroughly. Apply at the time of planting, followed by every 2 weeks through vegetative and flower stages. 5 gallons, 1 teaspoon. 15 gallons, 1 tablespoon. 30 gallons, 2 tablespoons. 60 gallons, 4 tablespoons. And 250 gallons is 1 cup. Now, we put quite a bit of this whenever we do our compost teas. We do not, however, put 1 cup of it in there. Not that it's not worth it or it needs to be done. There's just so much other active stuff in there. You don't want to overload it and eat all of your stuff up, because I did see that last year. I've seen times where within 10 to 15 hours I was looking good. Within 18 to 24 hours, my bacterias, or not my bacterias, but my biologics was starting to die off because they had already consumed, so they were already multiplied, consumed, and ate so much of the food. There wasn't really nothing for them to eat on, and they were starting to starve to death. So be very, very careful with that. You don't want them to starve to death. Now, Versity, is a ready to use dry blend of multiple species of Bacillus bacterias enhanced with kelp and humic acid. The blend is specifically selected to increase the population of beneficial microbes in the root zone while promoting vigorous plant growth. These microorganisms are some of the primary agents responsible for breaking down organic material and cycling nutrients. Among the Bacillus strains contained in this blend are the species capable of solubilizing phosphorus and potassium, which we need that, especially growing giant pumpkins or giant root crops. We need phosphorus and potassium. So you got your beneficial bacteria. It's great for all types of growing media, and fertilizers will not burn if used directed, and that is the truth. It will not do anything to them. 1 pound can treat up to 750 gallons of solution. And so, here you go. This is some really good stuff. I really, 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 really encourage you guys to use this in your grow. All right, this stuff right here, phenomenal. It will work, and you will love it. All right, so use this stuff as much as possible. This Versity is some awesome stuff, and trust me, you'll see a difference. If you're using Versity, you're going to see a difference in your plant growth, your plant health, and everything. All right, so there's the Versity right there. All right, moving along, we have our liquid Azos. I used this last year, guys, and I'm going to tell you right now, this stuff is phenomenal. Basically what it is over there to the far left of me, there's Azos powder in a bag. That stuff is great, no doubt about it. And you can, I've used it in my compost tea and stuff, when I ran out of liquid Azos. But this is a higher concentration, all right? So and from what I have seen, it seems like a little bit faster acting for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it just seems like it is. Maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it was me, maybe it was the plants during the grow and the cycle, but from what I've seen from all my data and statistics that I've gotten last year on using this versus using the powder, this right here seems to be a little bit faster acting. It seems like the plant response is a little bit faster as well, and so it's higher concentration, right? And so you're going to get those beneficial bacteria out there in a larger amount faster, okay? And so just kind of read this over, and it says, Azos is a naturally occurring bacteria that benefit plant growth. Azos converts atmospheric nitrogen into a usable form of nitrogen that is readily available to the plant. Great for containers, raised beds, and row crops, all right? Used for root cuttings and transplants, promotes growth. Great for vegetables, fruits, herbs, and flowers. Will not burn when used as directed. And I've never had any problems with using this at all. Never had any burn, never had any bloat, no, nothing like that. It's always did really, really well for me. Guys, my beans loved it, all right? And beans already are converting, atmospheric nitrogen into usable nitrogen, all right? So, it's crazy to see what a bean will do with it, because those long beans was like, shot out of nowhere. All right, so the soil amending guarantee analysis here is, it contains non-plant food ingredients, contains the following species of diastrophic bacteria, the Azobacillus 1.0 times 10 to the 8th power CFU. Inert carrier is 99%. It's colony forming units. Do not store this above 108 degrees or 100 degrees, excuse me. It's got all this other stuff here. It's used for in vegetative stages, propagation stage, general watering, irrigation, dose machine, nutrient delivery system, hydroponic applications. So I just go through the propagation, dripping and soaking cuttings. Add 20 milliliter per gallon of water. Dip and soak cuttings tips for at least 15 seconds before transferring rooting into rooting media or machine. Soak grow plugs, rock wool cubes. Add 20 milliliter per gallon of water. Soak grow plug, rock wool cubes for 10 minutes. Propagation machine, easy cloner, turbo cloner. Step 1, adjust the pH of the water to 5.5 to 6. Step 2, add 5 milliliter per gallon of water. General watering in reservoirs or hand watering, add 5 milliliter per gallon of water. Water a minimum of a quarter gallon to a third of a gallon potted plant. Raised beds, add 5 milliliter per gallon of water, and water in regularly every 1 to 2 weeks during vegetative stages. May be mixed with other fertilizers or plant biostimulants. Irrigation may be applied by overhead watering or drip irrigation at recommended rates of 16 ounces per acre. Dose machines, nutrient delivery systems, add 3.75 gallons of Azos Red liquid to 1.2 gallons of, add 3.75 gallons of Azos Red to 1.25 gallons of water in order to create a concentrate. The concentrate is then applied through 2,000 gallons of water. So there's that. Hydroponic application, add 5 milliliters per gallon in the reservoirs through the veg and grow stages. So there you go. And like I said, this stuff I really liked it a lot last year. It worked out really well for us. Now here is the Compost Tea. I like Compost Tea a lot. I use it a lot. You guys will see. I am a Compost Tea fanatic. All right, and I will use Compost Tea like nobody's business. You will see what I'm talking about. Now we'll open this up real quick and show you real fast here what their Compost Teas look like. Maybe if I can find my knife. All right, so I love Compost Tea, and I would definitely recommend using their Compost Tea because it's really good stuff. So all right, here we go. So this is the Compost Tea from Extreme. Now there is in this bag, and I'm not going to open it up, but in this bag you have a bag that's already in. It's micro. It's like a tea bag, really. Okay, it's like a giant tea bag, and so you take that giant tea bag out, you throw it into your 275 gallon tote. That's what I do, and I start my brewing with an Aeromixer. Be sure to go check out Aeromixers, guys. Aeromixers are wonderful things to be mixing your fertilizer or compost teas. Highly recommend using Compost Tea versus anything else. That is my opinion. Again, Compost Teas will do far more for you than just going out there and regularly fertilizing, okay? Guys, last year, how much did I fertilize? Go back and watch the videos. Pay close attention. See how many times I fertilized versus how many times I did this right here. You guys will notice I didn't fertilize for nothing really, all right? Put down a little bit of this, a little bit of that, sometimes here and there. Sometimes I put a little bit of Prevegenics in there, but the majority of the time, I wasn't putting any of that stuff in there. I was going Compost Teas, Versity, and all this other stuff, guys, and grew all that stuff pretty much off of Compost Teas. Now, I would put certain things in there once a week or so just because I wanted to keep a balance, right? And we're going to find out where that balance lies when we do our soil test here pretty soon. We're going to find out, did the plants take up as much as what I think they did, or did they do pretty well in staying balanced? Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, you want to keep that soil as close to balanced and relaxed as possible, right? You don't want it overcharged. You don't want it high in one thing, low in another, right? You don't want to be locking up stuff, and you can do that real easy in clay too. Especially clay's very well. That's another story. Anyhow, the thing is, you want to keep it balanced. You want to have that balance. You want that soil to be relaxed and balanced out, and positively charged and stuff, right? You don't want to have ups and downs and stuff, right? Them plants are sucking. You know, they're hitting them nutrients, right? If you're throwing a lot of compost teas and stuff in there, a lot of biologic stuff, they're converting that stuff, and them plants are just thriving, right? You want to make sure that you're still feeding them. So yes, I still fed them. I still tried my best to maintain that level balance, right? So we're gonna find out where we lie out here pretty soon, and if I did a pretty decent job of keeping it evenly balanced throughout the year. And I'm sure it sucked up some, but we're gonna see if I did better last year than I did a couple years before. But anyhow, compost teas, you can't beat them. They do wonderful. They do phenomenal for your giant growing and regular growing needs. You're putting in a lot of beneficial bacteria that are wanting to help your plant, right? They're wanting to thrive. They're wanting to grow, and you're putting it in there, and the plants, you can see a difference in the plants. You really can. This is not a sales pitch. This is not anything trying to be like, oh, you know, go over here and buy. No, look, if it didn't work, I wouldn't tell you. So what I seen using compost teas, my first year last year using compost teas, like really using them, right? I played with it the year before, but last year was really getting into it, and I was like, man, you know, and I could see such a difference using compost teas. And I would put, you know, Mykos wettable powder in there. I would put, you know, Azos red or Azos powder in there, and I'd put Versity in there, and you know, some liquid compost from Prevegenics, and of course our biodynamics from Malibu. And what I seen was my plant's response to that every time. It was like hitting them with a jolt of electricity. Boom. You can see them plants swell and push, swell and push, swell and push. Now, what was the reasoning for that? Why was they, you know, and a lot of people be like, how many times do you do that a week? You know, and I'd say, well, I do it every couple days, every 2-3 days I'm doing this. And they were like, we don't do it nearly that much. Well, I mean, that's okay. I mean, you don't have to do it that much. You know, it's just how I was doing. I was playing with it, right? And like I said, I would see them swell and push, swell and push. And what I mean swell is you would see these plants, they'd be vibrant, but you'd give them to this compost tea, and the next day, or the next 2 days, you know, they would look like the plants, everything about them would change, right? They'd be even prettier, they'd be even bigger. Their growing tips would extend way out, right? And then the next thing you know, it would push, right? And not just push, but the entire plant would push the, you know, the growth of the plant, the leaf size, you know, something, you know, would change in the plant, and then you'd see the pumpkin grow, right? Or like my rutabaga, that rutabaga would really green up on them leaves and then swell out on the actual vegetable part, right? The root crop part. So it's very cool to watch this stuff do what it done last year using compost teas, and I cannot wait to get more documentation on this stuff and stuff and see what it's doing. The other thing that I noticed was, like I was telling you earlier, sometimes, you know, between, you know, the 10 and 15 hour mark, between the 10 and 15 hour mark, I would have, you know, full growth of biologics. And then, you know, by 18 to 24, they were starting to decline. And you say, well, how do you know that? Well, you take your little dropper, pull in there, and you put it on a little slide, and you look at it through a microscope. All right, and you kind of see what all's going on, what all's transpiring in there, right? And so that's what I noticed several times. Sent that to several of the sponsors that we have, and they have you know, noticed that as well. You know what we're saying. And now, could that have been because of the Aeromixer? Because the Aeromixer is getting so much oxygen and all these other, like, is it a combination of the two? Like, what is it, right? Like, so we're going to try to pinpoint that this year. Lots of different things going on this year. You know, guys, this isn't just about growing giant stuff, right? This is about furthering the gardening community, right? It's not about winning. It's not about, getting trophies or accolades or any of that. Is it fun? Absolutely. Do I enjoy that part? Yeah, I do some. You know what I mean? But what I like about it more is the science part behind it. I like trying to figure out, well, if I did this and this, what will be the outcome of that? And then sharing that information with you guys and letting you guys know, like, well, I'm working on it, or I'm trying to, pinpoint or something. Because here's the thing, I don't want to release it and it just be like, well, this is my experience with it. I want to try to figure it out so that when I tell you guys about it, you guys can go, oh man, here's the science behind it. Here's everything he's got on it, and it works, right? And so that's what I'm trying to figure out this year. What is going on? What's working? How is this all coming together? Because it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting, and I think that there'll be breakthroughs made. And it's not just about the giant growing, but if you guys could grow like this and have a better, healthier soil, a better, healthier garden, how much more food could you put away for your family? If you're a market gardener, how much more food could you take to the market and sell, right? So there's tons of benefits behind this. This is not just about growing a big pumpkin or growing a state record or a world record or anything like that. It goes way, way past that, right? To helping the homesteader, helping the gardener, helping the market gardener to be more successful, have healthier plants, healthier soil, right? And a healthier, more nutritionally dense food product, whether it's being sold or whether it's being kept at home and ate right there at the house or by the neighbors or whatever, right? It's about getting those nutrients into those plants, right? And then from those plants into the fruit and vegetable themselves, right? It's a wonderful thing. Go back, if you haven't already, go back and watch the interview we did with John Kohler, all right, from Growing Your Greens, all right, and you'll see what we're talking about. These transfers, right? Transfer of nutrients from the soil into the plant, and then from the end of the plant into the fruit, and then from the vegetable, and then into us. All right, and you'll see these phenotypes and stuff that well, not phenotypes. It's photon something. I can't remember the name of it. Photon. Go watch the video. You'll find out. Anyways, can't remember it right now. But guys, it's really about that. It's about learning what you can do, what helps, what takes the stress away from your plants. I think this stuff helped a lot, taking stress away from the plants and letting the plants be more productive when they could have been shutting down and being stressed out from heat, or last year, way too cool of temperature, too big of temperature swings, right? Be hot in the day, not really hot, but 80s, and then fall way down into the 40s at night. Well, plants don't like that kind of stuff. 90s in the day, 70s at night, they love that. But you start talking 80s in the day and 40s at night, they're like, hey, whoa, put on the brakes here, boss. Is winter coming early or what, right? And so those temperature swings are bad. And it helps, though, because it helps with the stressing of the plant. You don't want that plant stressing out. So, anyhow, there's that. We'll talk about another product we used last year in it. It's called AgroThrive. We used AgroThrive in our stuff last year. Very, very good stuff. And we enjoyed it. This right here is cow carb, and it works really, really good. You can use it for a foliar. You can use it. It'll help. First of all, it helps give calcium to your plants. Secondly, I've used it to help fight away powdery mildews and things like that. The plants really, 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 really like this cow carb a lot, and so we use that, as a foliar spray. Sometimes we even put it in our compost tea mix and use it in that way to apply it. But it really does help quite a bit, and we liked it a lot. So I'm not going to open that one up, but make sure you get you some cow carb if you're over there as well. Let me see what this is here. And so I think this right here might be the new stuff that we're using this year, I'm thinking. All right, let's see. And then we'll talk about the rest of it. Yeah. Oh man, the bottles are upside down. Poopy. Oh, poopy, 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 poopy. All right, let's see. Bottle's upside down. All right, here's a Shield Boost. All right, guys, we're using Shield Boost this year. It is a 117.3. All right, and it really is just going to be helping, you know, the plants, you know, and stuff from you know, from well, here I'll just read it for you. So you can use it as irrigation. You know, Shield Boost must be applied by irrigation system 2 weeks after transplanting seedlings or germination of the seeds. It affects last up to 3 weeks. One bottle, 1.44 liter, treats 2 acres. You know, diluted Shield Boost in the fertigation tank at the rate of 20 plus gallons of water per acre. A 10-acre block equals 7.2 liters, 5 bottles of Shield Boost and 200 gallons of water. Apply every 15 days or 2 months. Apply every 15 days for 2 months. Continue application may vary per customer. Fungicide-based chemicals can be used in combination with this product during application. Now, this is a foliar spray. Shield Boost can be applied by foliar spray at any moment, and its effects last up to 2 weeks. You know, dilute it, 1 bottle, 1.44. You know, treat 2 acres. Dilute Shield Boost in an appropriate amount of water. Treat equal area. Apply every 15 days for 2 months. Continued application may vary per customer. You know, you still use fungicide and, you know, all that good stuff. So there's the fungicide, or there's the Shield Boost right there. So we've been playing with this stuff, and we've seen some very, very, very good results thus far. We like it. So it's one of their new products. They've got 4 new products out, and I'm not seeing the other 3 here yet. So let me see here. I want to make sure it's not in there. So we'll have to get in touch with them about the other 4 products. But yeah, Shield Boost is some good stuff. So highly recommend from what I've seen just in growing indoors this year. We'll go and check that out as well. They're Shield Boost products. You'll like them a lot. Let's see here, and then some good packing peanuts. All right. So there's that. Now, shut that up. Pow. Okay. Now, real quick, go over this stuff real fast. So this right here, in this bag, this is 50 pounds of Mykos. Now, 50 pounds of Mykos is the pelletized form, and so you're going to want to get direct contact to the roots. It will not work unless you have direct contact with the roots, and so you're going to want to make sure that you are taking this. This is right here is what I use in my seed starting mix. So you guys will see in the upcoming weeks, I'm going to do a seed starting mix video, and what we use for that is mycorrhiza, we use Versity, and we will use Azos in that seed starting mix, and we mix it all together. All right, and we'll even put in some Shield Boost in there. Then we'll put it in a jug of water. And whenever we wet the soil down, Kai, move.
Why is the snow going so fast?
It's just blowing a lot of snow, ain't it? All right. But we will use the Shield Boost to help inoculate that soil with Shield Boost as well, and that'll help some as too. We don't want to overdo it with that. We will just gently apply some of that, not a lot. So it'll be very, very little amounts, not to the directions of the bottle. I've been playing with it some, trying to figure it out, and I think I got it down pretty well. So we'll be using that in our seed starting mix as well. So that's what that is. Is a beneficial fungi is what Mykos is, and so it gets right there at the rhizosphere and starts, is what I meant. So it gets at the rhizosphere and starts working right there. And you know, you can read the whole back here. You know, it tells you for, you know, in-ground raised bed, you know, sowing seeds, you know, rock wool cubes, containers, etc. For this. And so there's that. Now this one right here, this Mykos is the Mykos WP. It is a wettable powder, so it's a powder form that you can put in, you know, your compost tea or, you know, a watering can. You can water it in, and you don't have to have that direct contact. Okay, if you try to apply this to the top of the ground, now you can use this for burying roots. This stuff right here, you can use it in your root burying mix if you would so choose. But you can take the wettable powder and you can broad disperse it, right? Because this stuff right here is going to lay on top of the soil if you try to do it, you know, after you've done planted and stuff. So you don't really want that because it's not effectively doing anything unless a root touches it. And so the wettable powder can sink into the soil and start to activate and work. Azos, it can be used, you know, just the same way as the wettable powder. Mykos, but it's a beneficial bacterium. We've already went over that. And so those are all the products that we have today from Xtreme. I'd like to thank Xtreme so much for all your support and your help. Guys, without them, it would be very, very difficult for me to grow the way that I do. So we want to thank Xtreme for all their hard work, dedication to the growing community and myself. So guys, thank you guys so much over there at Xtreme Gardening. And you guys are the greatest. And we really appreciate all your help and all your products that you're coming out with to try to further advance and help plant growth all around the world. So guys, we're going to get out of here. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time right here in the hollers and hills of West Virginia.
Don't forget to smash that like button, that notification bell.
Don't get the
Good job. Here you go. Thank you.
Don't get the
Don't forget to share. Yep. There you go. Good job.
And
And
subscribe.